What's up, guys? This is Chaz, and if you are new to this channel, basically I document my journey with weed addiction and how I quit, how I'm trying to stay sober. So I share my stories, I share skits, I share everything relating to living a new life free of weed addiction. So this video is, I would say, a rather important video because as you see by the title, it says I got high, but I did not relapse. Okay, so recently I went on my 10th year wedding anniversary with my wife. We went to Denver, Colorado. Yes, the Denver that is notorious for being one of the first to legalize marijuana. So why would somebody who's trying to quit weed go to Denver, Colorado? Because Frontier Airlines had cheap tickets. Okay, so I've always throughout this journey, after I quit for a year, I've been sober, by the way, from weed for 2.5 years, and I said, are you truly over weed if you never go back to it, or are you over it? Okay, you never go back to it, but you're still like, oh, I can't smoke, I can't be around weed, I can't this, or are you over it if you can refrain from it, then go back to it and try it out or get high or partake and not let it become a cycle in your life? What makes you truly over it? I go back and forth with this, and uh, this weekend, not this weekend, a couple weeks ago, I did the test. And I want to be transparent in this video. If I ever smoke weed or get high or do anything with weed, I want to let you guys know I don't want to sit here and have this channel and I'm just like secretly getting high. Because somebody said one time that um, he sound high right now. I'm not smoking weed and giving you content saying you shouldn't smoke weed. Don't be a hypocrite. And by the way, I am not wearing sunshades. I'm wearing transition lenses. These are my real glasses. I am not trying to hide my eyeballs. They turn into shades once the sunlight hits my eyes. Okay, so we went to Colorado. We're having a good time. Before we went, I told my wife, I don't want you to not have a good time because I'm scared to get high. Again, I don't think weed is a bad thing. I think nothing's wrong with smoking weed or taking an edible every now and then for celebration or like you would alcohol. I think when it comes to a point, if you're smoking it every week, even every month, it usually gets to a point where you're smoking it every day, and then that's where the issue comes in. But as far as just partaking for celebrations, for special occasions, nothing wrong with that. So I didn't want to let my aversion to weed, be a buzzkill. If I told her, if you want to take an edible, I'll do that. Now, specifically an edible. Now, I feel like, okay, when I was smoking, my intake of choice was to smoke. I like how it feels hitting the back of my throat. It's a more immediate high. I like to smoke. So I did make a deal with myself. If I do partake, I'm going to take an edible in a form that I'm not so I was so addicted to. So told her, if you want to take an edible, we can do it. So we did it. And I'm going to make another video uh, talking about I changed my view on edibles. So how was my experience getting high 2.5 years, well, almost 3 years after not putting THC, weed, cannabis into my body? Okay, so I took the edible, I got these chocolates, and mistake one, I said, if I'm going to do it, might as well go big or go home. I bought 2 bars of chocolate. A big mistake. Forewarning, I should have bought one. So I bought 2. So my wife said, I'll take 2 squares. And I said, 2, I'll take 4. We're on vacation. We have no children. This is our first kid-free vacation in about 8 years. So it's pretty big. So I said, I'm taking 4. So I do know with edibles, they take sometimes 1, 2, even 3 hours to finally kick in, but I didn't want to wait for it. I wanted for it to go ahead and kick in the next hour or two. I'm not going to say that was a mistake because we had fun, But after not smoking for 2.5 years, basically having virgin brain, virgin, not lungs, I'm not smoking, but basically being a virgin to weed again, you can say, because the thing about weed, if you don't smoke weed for a period of time and you go back to it, your tolerance goes back to like where you were before you actually got addicted to it. After about 2 hours, I was high out of my fucking mind. I could not deal with society. I was basic. I wasn't incapacitated, but I was not able to have a logical, non silly conversation with anybody, including my wife. So at first, it was the point where she was taking care of me because I mean, I was like, imagine it's your first time and you take 4 bars of chocolate. I got, I think, peanut butter one, and I got, I want to say, salted caramel pretzel, the other one. Whatever the case, um, she was taking care of me. I was laughing out of my mind. I was it was I felt like when I first got high when I was 16. Now also I will say, even when I was addicted to weed, smoking weed on a regular basis, I did have an edible or took some edibles that I'm gonna say they do affect you differently than smoking. I had some, I guess, some weak edibles in my teen years, and I'm like, I don't do edibles. They're not strong. I don't get high. I don't see the hype. And I took some real edibles in my late 20s, and that that got me high even when I was smoking weed every day. So imagine me not smoking weed for almost 3 years, and I take 4 bars of edibles. I was out of my mind. And about an hour later, she also was out of her mind. So I was like, okay, we're in a lot. It's like we had to, we wanted to get something to eat and go to the hot tub. We went downstairs to decide what we're going to eat. We looked at a menu at the hotel restaurant. Then we looked at the menu across the street, and we also wanted to get a little alcohol for later on. I mean, that was the hardest task. It got to a point after trying to look at 2 menus, I said, okay, at this point, let's just tuck our heads in and go back to the room and let's let this wear off. We cannot be in public. So we went to the room, um, relaxed, and the test for me was, because I was saying I was okay, and she's like, "You're not okay." I was not okay, and but not okay in a good way. I wasn't tripping balls, but like I said, I could not have uh, it was hard to have a sensible, normal conversation with the outside world. So the test for me was whether I could go downstairs, I think, buy the alcohol across the street, which was literally across. It's literally like across the street, and not a big street, a quite small street. And get to the car, and it was something I had to get from the car, but get something out of the car, go to the liquor store. That was my test. I did complete it, but I wanted. We had parked somewhere far, and I wanted to move the car. It the state of my mind, it was not best for me to drive or move the car, so I did not. And pretty much we had a good evening, and I got extremely high. Okay, we there was a warning that first day. We did. I'm like, why did I buy 2 bars? Clearly, all we needed is one, because like all I knew was I wasted like $20. I could have just you know bought 1 bar and I wasted 20, but whatever. The next day, we decided to take 2 bars. She took one. I took two this time, and we waited until we were back at the room, not driving, not doing anything, and we kind of went to sleep after that. So I can't say I fully felt that one like that first day when we took it. And it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so again, like I said, we didn't take. We tried the other bar, but we could not dare finish 2 bars in 3 days. So, and it's crazy because we actually like, geez, we have like a whole bar left, and we have a friend that stays in Las Vegas, and she regularly brings edibles, brings vape pens, brings actual weed on the plane with her to Memphis. And we were like, she does it, and we asked her. She was like, "Oh, just do this. Put it with your mixing it in with your real food. You can. It's no big deal. You can get past." So, in our crazy mind, we like, "Oh, we wasted some money. We can like bring this back home and finish out our anniversary at home." But I'm like, it'll be like, really, it'll be just our luck. We get caught by TSA. We get arrested, and our kids are without parents because we're locked up in Colorado. So we're like, okay, let's just throw it away. So, what is my ending thoughts on partaking in It's a Waltz? It's a Waltz. My ending thoughts on partaking in weed after a year or more of sobriety. First off, I still have no intention of smoking weed in my everyday life. I didn't come back and want like, oh, I've awakened that monster. Now I have to find my friend, find my dealer, and buy some stuff. It wasn't that. I'm still on. It's not a journey because I feel like journey means you're always struggling with weed addiction. Me personally, I chose a new life, so I'm not I'm still living my life as it was after weed addiction. I have no desire to still go back, no desire to go back, and I had a good time. So this video was to let you guys know, like I said, be transparent, and I'm not gonna smoke weed, take an edible, do any of this, and not tell you guys. So this is a video update and motivation. If you feel like, have you failed if you partake, even if you smoked or you took an edible, and you either you had, maybe you did have a good time, or you didn't. You're like, I don't even like this stuff anymore. Personally, I don't see if people could take edibles every day. I'm gonna save this for another video because that experience made me change my view on edibles, because I always said that you can't really get addicted to edibles because it takes so long for it to actually kick in. It's not the same as smoking, which that's true, but I think it's possible, and that's another video. And so long story short, if you're on your journey, you have quit, and you want to partake for a birthday celebration, you're out of town, you know, and you feel like you're strong enough to partake and let it not become a cycle or routine in your life, go forward. Because I still battle with it. Now I don't battle with it. I'm I've made my stance. I feel like you have truly overcame your addiction if, and I'm gonna say with weed specifically, not heroin, not crack. I ain't gonna say alcohol. Because people love weed so much and say, "Oh, this is great. It gets the herb." You're right; it's not as bad. So I'll use this for weed specifically. It's if you want to partake after you have quit for a period of time and you're comfortable with doing that, I think that is a true test of you being over weed. If you can partake in it and not go back to what you once were. So yeah, I got high, but I didn't relapse. And I'm still living basically a weed-free life, unless we go back to Denver in 5 years, and we want to buy some more chocolate. I feel like I could smoke, but I say, why not? Why poke that bear? Because I'm not dying to smoke, so why would I? I'll just take it in the form that I know for a fact I won't get addicted to. Because things like smoking weed, like cigarettes, I don't fear that I'll go back, but I'm human. I'm not God. Anything is possible, and I love cigarettes so much, and I love weed so much, and had admiration for them both. It's kind of a tricky. It's kind of, I'm playing with fire, if you will. So be cautious of that. If you know you love smoking, take an edible, do a vape pen. I never like vaping weed, but if you want to just have a good time and don't want to go back to smoking, Do a vape, do an edible, do whatever, do a gummy, do what floats your boat. But that was my update. And if you have any comments, any thoughts, any ideas, any of your experiences, please comment below. And until next time, guys, remember, we are all in this together. Peace.